and I'm a pregnant woman. I'm bringing life into this world, and I'm not giving up on either of these things. I don't care how much they're saying. You know, at this time, if you got pregnant, you stayed home and took care of the kids. There was no career for you. And so somehow I'm saying, I'm going to do this. I've got the strength to do this. And what's amazing to me looking at this is oil pastel. It looks like I just did this a few days ago or something. Yeah, so God bless oil pastel as a archival medium. And oil pastel, you can't, it's a greasy crayon-like thing, which was perfect for this. So it's very, you can't change it. You're committed to any stroke you make on the piece. And that was, I had spent, and when we go around you'll see some of the other, but I had spent years life drawing, so I was in a space of being able to draw like this. But nevertheless, this is my 9th month of pregnancy. There were very heavy circumstances at the time. And this is the way I was keeping myself alive. And I truly, from where my energy is now, and other people 9th month of pregnancy, that's your energy, it's, you know, the physical energy to do these pieces and have the power that's in them. It's kind of, I'm blown away by it all these years later. When you're in that way, whatever's coming up, the colors, the moods, you're tapping into another, you know, zone.
Yeah. Front Range is the reason I found out about it, and the reason I actually came to California. And to just underline what Helen says, I spent 4 years in undergrad and 3 years in graduate school, thousands of dollars, all that time with about three women artists, Georgia O'Keeffe, Helen Frankenthaler, and Katie Kollwitz. So you got to imagine what you're at. Maybe some of you asked yourself the same thing. Am I nuts to want to be an artist? Are there only 3? Then something pops up and says, well, if they were that good, there couldn't have just been only 3. That's too much of a, you know, you don't just pop out that, you know, sophisticated from nowhere. So I thought either I'm nuts or there's something wrong with our education system. That's why I went to work on the dinner party. It was a quest. And I realized, ooh, there's something really wrong with our education system, because we dug out 3,000 women in all professions in Western civilization from goddess era up to the present, and most of whom I had never, ever heard of before, all in secondary source books. And some from the women scholars who were coming up, like the women feminist artists. They were feminist art historians, feminist historians, and creating bibliographies. That was a very pivotal point in time, like around 1975. So, and Helen was right in the center of it, you know. She was really one of the people who pioneers, who instead of following other people, just from your own inner core, your own inner voices, the source that you come from, saying, this is what I am, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I know, this is where I'm going to go. And you probably have, many of you probably experienced that, you know. So anyway, thank you for letting me go on.
Something I learned about being a feminist artist, you know, that meant you were involved with everything. Nobody was doing anything for you, you know. I mean, this elite notion of the artist or the curator will take care of this, or the so-and-so will take care. Well, there wasn't anybody to take care of it. Your wife wouldn't be doing it for you, or whatever it was. So you had to, not only were you creating the work, you had to figure out how you were going to exhibit it. You had to hang it or install it. You very often were in, you had to make the space for where it would be. You had to promote it. You had to, you know, you had to occupy yourself with every part of it. And also in doing it as with one another, we were learning to work together so that as a group we could affect change in a way that none of us personally could. And there's certainly a very, you know, like there are women artists teaching in the university today. There are women artists showing. There's still plenty of problems. Anne is still doing surveys about things. And, you know, there are many issues, but it's still a far cry from what it was. But I do want to say, one of the things, it wasn't, I don't think so much it had anything to do with women not being creative or a lack of talent. I think the whole issue of family or role or what women had to take care of is what kept them from having time to do creative work, and that had, you know, that's just a practical reality, and hey, it's still alive today. The kinds of choices I had to make are still right there for everyone today, whatever profession they're in.